sitting here in my bed. I've been thinking about everything that's been said. I realize what's at stake. From the moment I met you, I'd just be insane. And you're in my life, and we know that's a hard thing to find. Well, I'm a good man, and you're a good woman. So much more I wanna discover, baby. It's love, it lasts a lifetime. Deep in my heart, I know, baby. It's love, it lasts forever. It'll just stop the show. For the longest time, sinning out of love, oh, I paid the price. Tell me, can you comprehend what you make me feel? Heaven only knows why broken hearts can heal. I need you here by my side. If you're not in my world, boy, but it just ain't right. You're a good, good man, and I'm a good woman too. There's so much more inside of you. The last lifetime, deep in my heart, I feel. Baby, it's love will last forever. It'll just stop. Maybe we can work it out. Maybe we can settle down, girl. Maybe we can find a way to love a little better. Maybe we can find a way to keep it all together. Maybe have a little faith to pray for this love. Baby, deep in my heart, I know it's love. Will last forever. It'll just stop. Sure, baby. Baby, I know. Baby, I
Hello, it's the boy, comedian Edwin-Douglas, and you're on Uheardme1st radio talk show. That's right. We are on iheart-radio, Spotify.com, Spreaker, YouTube, Yahoo, Google Podcasts, and yes, you can always catch all our episodes on demand. That's right. Before we bring in our guest, let me introduce you to my DJ sidekick, Uncle Ben. And also, later on joining this show, my new co-host, the one and only, the Boudin Man. Yes, he will let us know what he got cooking on the grill. But now, ladies and gentlemen, she's just not only a guest, she is an author, motivation speaker, and this is her home. She's making her third appearance right here on You Heard Me First Radio Talk Show. Please welcome the lovely Georgia Woodbine. How you doing?
Hey guys, thanks for having me once again. It's always
yes. We just can't get enough of you. We are so excited for you every time you are on the show. Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm blushing.
Yes. Thank you. Well, before the first episode, the second episode, we have been educating single people. So we had so many listeners have given us email. When you guys invite her back, can you educate or give advice for married people? So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight is an opportunity that we're going to educate married people, and what we're going to talk about quite a few things that married people should do. All right, my first question to you, Georgia. After a newlywed couple is married, let's say 90 days, in your mindset, could you share with us what are some of the things that newlywed couples should do after 90 days?
Okay. Well, you should know a lot about each other before you get married, first of all. But I would say after the first 90 days, I think it's the hardest because now you're in each other's space. And sometimes, like the honeymoon phase fades out once you're really physically living together in each other's space. And there may be some things that may annoy you, but just letting the other person know, communication has always been the fundamental part of a healthy union. And so you have to communicate things that bother you. You have to communicate your likes, your dislikes, and so that you start to tackle that stuff early in the marriage so that you're not holding on to things and you don't feel like you resent that person because they're doing these certain things. So I would say definitely confront issues that you're noticing in the first 90 days of your union and you're living in each other's space, and things that you feel bother you, you should talk about it. Definitely communicate, because when two people are in a healthy relationship, they should be able to communicate and respect each other's space and have their own way of doing things, but respectfully. So that would be my advice.
Okay. I like how you said communication is the key word to relationship marriages as well. Speaking on communication, how important it is to communicate and discuss going over the finances and the bills monthly or weekly.
When you say that word finance, a lot of people, it's funny because even in marriages, you have a husband and wife that's together that have two separate finances. One doesn't know what the other person makes, and they're kind of very secretive about things like that. They have second accounts that the other one doesn't know about. But I think to have a healthy relationship and a healthy marriage is that there's nothing wrong with having a separate account, but let your spouse know that, like, we have this together, but I still want to have something for myself. And just being open and honest so that, like, I don't know if you ever remember that, what was that movie with Tyler Perry when he found out she had all this money in the account, and he was like, where did this money come from? And she was getting the money from her boss, saying, bonuses and all of that. So you don't want to be in a situation where your spouse is finding out that you have another account. You go to the bank, and it's like, wait a minute, they got this? What? So be open and honest about it. And it's okay to have your own separate stuff, but you should talk about finances together. And this should be a conversation you should have before you get married, because if you are in union with someone that's in debt, you need to know that before you say, I do. You need to know these things ahead of time so that you know what you're dealing with, because sometimes when you're married and this person has debt, this now could be inherited by the other person. So you want to be open about finances. I think it's like a sticky topic for people because a lot of times when people are in debt or they're struggling financially, they don't want this other person to know what's really going on. And so I say confront it, talk about it, let the other person know, okay, this is, some debt that I left behind, and I need to let you know this so that you're not surprised. So, yeah, definitely let the other person know what you're dealing with financially. Absolutely.
Hypothetical thinking, let's say the husband income was more than the wife when they first got married. And all of a sudden, he loses his job, and the wife came to agreement that she understands that they become one.
Right.
How long should the wife put up with knowing that she's the only one bringing in the income until her husband finds a job?
So I can tell you this. The number one reason for divorces is finances. So if the person is feeling pressure financially, that can definitely cause problems. But, you have to have a time frame on it. If your husband or your wife lost their job and they're looking for, they need to have a time frame. What's your plan? They can't just be sitting home for a whole year or 2 years go by and you're like, wait a minute, you still looking for a job? There needs to be some kind of time frame set and say, okay, this is the situation. I'm in, a little rut right now, but this is the plan. And you got to have a plan. And one of the things that I talk about also is that people should have goals in relationships. You always hear people talk about individual goals, but when you're in a relationship, you should set goals together as a couple of what you plan to achieve and what you plan to do. So there should definitely be some kind of plan of action, okay, I'm looking for a job by boom, 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 boom. Okay, you should get a job by a certain time. It shouldn't be that where one person's carrying the other person, because I can tell you this. When you're in a situation where one person feels like they're carrying the other person, there can be some form of this person feels like they can talk to you anyway, they can treat you anyway. The level of respect can change, because if the woman is carrying the man, she probably feels like, listen, I'm the breadwinner, so you're going to have to do what I tell you. Or when they say fix this in the house and you don't do it, and they're like, wait a minute, you're not working, I'm paying all the bills, you need to do. So there does become where this person feels like they have more seniority in the relationship when the finances is being handled by one person. And you don't want that imbalance in a relationship. You don't want to feel like this person could talk to you any kind of way and treat you any kind of way because you are the one handling the finances. So there should be some kind of plan of action. And listen, there's nothing wrong with a woman holding her man down if something happens, just like vice versa. You know what I mean? But there should be some kind of plan on when do you plan to start bringing some finances in, because I'm not going to be carrying you this whole time.
Wow. I'm glad you said what you said, because a lot of this is happening in today's society. And I ask men and women, what happened to the vow for better, for worse? What happened to when they both pray together, stay together? What happened to the positive mindset, no matter what? We are not going to let nobody come between us. Nothing won't come between us. But all of a sudden, someone gave up. And I can speak on that. Once upon a time when I was married and my income was more than my ex-wife. Now, I did get a job, but her income became more than mine. And then at the same time, I kept obeying my faith, but at the same time, she allowed another woman to come in her belief that we built together. So sometimes you think you know the person. I want to say that it's a man's responsibility all the way to hold it down, spiritually, mentally, and letting her know, hey, God is in this. I'm trying, But you have to understand, if we got to downsize out of our home or carpool or whatever it takes, we're going to continue to trust God. I say that according to what you say about the finances. Have you heard any married couple have gone through some of the things I just said and what we're both speaking of?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a life coach, so I deal with people in relationships, on career, business, personal development, and all of that. And I think that let's go back to the beginning, because the key to a healthy relationship is that the person has to feel complete with themselves before they get into this relationship. Because what happens is when things like this happen, meaning one person loses their income, then this person goes back to their old mindset and their own way of thinking individually. So I believe that these are things that you have to work on before your marriage, where it's like before you even take this union, like understand where you're both at and where you're both trying to go. Because if you don't, it's even though you have faith, even though you feel, positive, reality hits. And the truth is, when reality hits, you have faith, but you can't control what's going on the outside. And when you can't control what's going on the outside, that human part of you begins to push its face to the surface, and it's like, wait a minute. So I do believe that these are things that we got to work on individually before you get into this, even in marriage, because now it becomes a problem if the person is dealing with things the way they used to and not thinking as one, as you mentioned before when we first started this conversation, whereas when you marry someone, you're saying we are now one, meaning we're now one working together. That doesn't mean we don't have our own individualities and we don't have our separate lives with our families or our friends or certain things like that, but we will come together as one no matter what. And so I think when the pressure's on, it's just like that when you're under the fire, like when it's happening, it's hard for people to see the end result. So like, let's say, for instance, you have a couple, right? And one person is in a dream, and the other person's like, you know what? You need to let that go because it's not happening right now. And then it's like, this is something that's really dear and true to you, and you're so passionate about it, and you really believe in this thing, and you invest money and all this time and everything, and you don't have that support from your spouse. That is not healthy, because you got to have balance. You definitely have to have balance, but it's also important to have that support from that other person. Like, you know what? I want to pursue this. I'll hold you down but you should have a time frame. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'll hold you down for a year. You figure it out. I'll hold you down for a year. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, so be realistic, but also be supportive, of each other and not be one-sided.
So you say that it's okay, the woman, the wife, and say, I give you a year. If you don't get it together, I'm going to let you fill in the blank. If you don't get it together, I am going to blank. What is the best answer to put in that blank of a woman holding it down, but the husband, he find a job, but his income's not where they both like it to be?
Okay, so this is how I would answer the fill in the blank. And, right, this is just me talking to my husband. Okay, let's just say hypothetically, right? He was like, okay, babe, I lost my job. What am I going to do? I'm like, you know what? Okay, babe, so let's talk about this. Okay, so this is us in the bedroom having a conversation, both sitting down. I'm sitting at the other edge of the bed. He's standing there, and he's looking at me like, what am I going to do? And I'm like, okay, babe, this is going to be the plan. So you have to figure out what you want to do, okay? I will be here for you. I will support you, but you have to have a plan of action. And so if you don't have a plan of action, then this is going to put a strain on our relationship, because if I feel like I'm doing everything and I feel like I don't have that companionship, that's what a marriage is supposed to be about, where you say, for sick or poor, rich or poor, sickness and in health and all that. But, yeah, we're still a team. And so if I feel like it's not a team and it's one-sided, it's going to start to affect us both, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. It's going to affect every other area. So we need to figure out what your plan is going to be, and we'll work towards that plan. We'll set goals together in this relationship, and but I'm not just going to sit there and sit around until you try to spend 10 years trying to figure it out, because that's going to put strain on the relationship. And the reality is, and I know I'm a Christian woman and I have faith, but the reality is if two people are in a relationship and that financial stress, it can kill you. It can kill you because it starts to put so much pressure on the other person. And so, you just have to talk about it and say, you know what, babe, this is what I will do, but you need to have a plan, because you know what, if you don't have a plan and I don't see results, or I don't see, not that you have to make more money than me, but if I don't see that you're contributing, then it's going to put a strain on us physically, because a woman, if she feels like her man is not doing anything around the house and he's not contributing anything, she's not going to want to be sexually attracted to him, because that's going to affect other areas. And that's just being real. It's going to affect other areas. So, you have to talk about it and say what the plan is. And I'm not saying don't stick by your husband, because you are married, but I'm just saying that you need to let your husband know, like, if this doesn't change, this is what's going to happen to us. And my whole thing is to always be honest. Just like you talk about in a relationship, if you stop courting your wife after you get married, so you used to do all this stuff before you got married, and then as soon as you get married you stop, that wife has to tell her husband, well, these are the things that made me fall in love with you. Like, I used to love going out with you and laughing and telling jokes and us doing this and doing that, and now it stopped. So you have to be honest about what you're feeling, and you have to say, well, these are the things that are important to me in a relationship. And so you have to verbalize that. And when you verbalize that with the other person, you're letting them know this is where I'm at. But when you don't let this person know where you are mentally and what you're thinking, then it begins to be a lot of resentment. And so resentment turns into anger, and that is not a good thing. So that's why I said it's very important to figure out what this other person is trying to do and how you can accomplish goals together in a marriage.
All right. Okay, let's talk about blended family. Married, have children from the previous marriage, bringing that family into the second marriage. How important it is that the husband and the wife should recognize the children, the kid's dad or the kid's mother into their blended relationship, blended marriage, blended family.
Okay, so let me figure out what you're asking me. So you're saying are we talking about the kids on how this other person treats the kids, or are you talking about the spouse? Because that's two different things.
I'm talking about how important that the spouses, the husband and wife, should support the children into their family, knowing that there's the biological father, biological mother into your marriage. Knowing that if she has children by another man,
right,
and knowing that child's father is going to be in a communication with you. Of course. Okay. How important that is that your husband today should support and be understanding of the relationship that you two have of that child.
Okay. So respect, okay? That's the key word here, respect. And I think that when people have kids together, they are bonded for life. Whether people want to believe it or not, they are, okay? I don't care if the kids are 50, 60, they're bonded, okay, because they had this child together. They were in union, and they brought this child into this world. So they will always be a part of each other's lives. And so other people have to realize that they're going to have to communicate somehow. It doesn't matter how old the kids are, because they're your child. And so if there's a concern, if something's going on, if if there are issues with them going on, you want to be able to communicate with your ex. You know, it shouldn't be a person in a situation where it's like, oh, you can't talk to your ex because you're married to me now. That's just childish. That's just immature. Like, people need to be more mature about it and realize that if you feel intimidated by this person talking to their ex, then you need to check yourself, because that means you have low self-esteem. Because if you feel like you're not all that, and you feel like this person communicating with their ex, you should be intimidated by that, then you have to check yourself. So I don't think that, you know, people, I think there should always be a respect level there now. Now, if you're dealing with a psycho, you know, ex, that's another situation. You know, that's another situation where you feel like you could be respectable but at a distance. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it really depends on the situation, and it depends on the person, because we all know that we are so different on so many levels. And so you have to deal with the situation based on that particular person. So if that ex respects you and it's just all about that, then no problem. But if that ex is disrespecting you and, like, trying to step over you and, like, do all kinds of things, then you need to verbalize it to your husband and check it with him and say, listen, you need to talk to so-and-so and so, because, you know, because then you don't want to be in a situation where you're confrontational with the ex. You know what I mean? So I think definitely, you know, it all depends on what type of ex you're dealing with, how you're going to respond to the situation. But at the end of the day, everybody should respect that other person. And even though, you know, this person's not with them anymore, you should respect the fact that they're going to communicate and respect that, and not be, you know, okay, you can't talk to this person, because that's just insane. You cannot tell a person you can't talk to the mother of your child. Like, that's just ridiculous.
Okay. So should the ex respect the rule of the man's household, such as calling the children? Let's say, for an example, he want to speak to his child, but it is 10 o'clock at night, and the husband really don't approve the ex calling, with the child father calling after hours. Is that disrespectful, or should he respect the man rule in his house?
If the rule in the house is that this person shouldn't call you after a certain time, then the person should respect that rule. You know what I mean? This is a new life you're building with someone. And so if you don't respect that with the wife, like if the wife says to you, you know what, I don't mind you talking to your child's mom, but like 11, 12 o'clock at night, like that's inappropriate. It's okay to say that. It's okay to not want that. You know what I mean? It's different if your child is calling you in an emergency situation, but, you know, or if the child's in a hospital, okay, now that's a you know what I'm saying, that's okay. You know, like if something serious is going on and they need to call you in the middle of the night, like something's happening to your child and something's going on, that's different. But if it's the fact where they're just calling you to say, hey, if someone's going to talk to you, like, this is inappropriate. You should not be calling me this time of night, you know. And so, like, I do believe there are a lot of exes that are not over the spouses, whether it's the wife or husband, and they feel like they could do certain things and they shouldn't. And I think that the new couple, they should both respect that the other person is uncomfortable with that. And it's really, like, goes back to what we talked about earlier with respect. If your spouse is telling you, I'm not comfortable with that, then you need to respect your wife, and you need to respect your husband. If you're not comfortable with that, then and your spouse is telling you that, then you need to, you know, look at that and say, okay, well, if this person's not comfortable with it, then I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? It's all about respect at the end of the day.
Wow. One other question. Let's say wife, husband, taking care of business, got it going on. The ex is not paying child support, and the husband and the wife decided to allow the husband to adopt the child, what suggestion you have on the husband adopting a child, getting his last name, and the biological father is not paying any child support or anything?
Okay.
What suggestion you have?
Okay. So this is a scenario, right? So you're with this woman, right? This is your new wife, right? And she has a child with an ex, and he's not paying child support. But is he still involved in his child's life? Yes or no?
Yes.
I mean, it's a very sticky situation, even though he's not paying child support, and is he still in communication with his child? There's nothing wrong if the mom that's remarried with the new husband, they want to adopt that kid, but they need to be, it's a very fine line, because if the father is still involved with the child, then the child can be affected by what's happening. And at the end of the day, it really should be about the child, not what the mother thinks is best, not what the stepfather thinks is best, but what the child is feeling. And I think that the reason why we have so much complications with relationships is because we forget about the child and about their feelings. And so that's very important, because what if this child has a bond with his dad, even though he's not paying child support, but he still wants his dad to be a part of his life? Is it right to say, okay, well, you're not paying child support, so you can't be a part of my life? So it's a fine line. You have to look at the child and see what's best for the child, of course, but also see what the child is feeling. And I think that when you don't concern yourself with what the child is feeling, that's when you have issues with your children growing up, because there's a lot of resentment there. Because can you imagine a kid saying, you want my stepdad to adopt me, but I still want my old dad in my life, and you're forcing me to do something I don't want to do. Can you imagine all the issues you're going to have to deal with when this kid's a teenager because of that resentment? So, we have to focus on the kid, the child, and what their feelings are. And I think as adults, sometimes we dismiss what our children feel, what our kids feel. And I think it's unfair to them, because you cannot dismiss what they're feeling just because they're children, because they're human beings as well.
Wow. Uncle Ben, Miss Georgia, Uncle Ben. I got one question to ask you, Uncle Ben. Speaking on my wife, child, baby daddy, if I had to, or we had to take the child to the biological father, is it okay if I just take the child to her father instead of my wife going by herself? Uncle Ben.
Okay, say that again for me.
Is it okay, Georgia, for me to take the child to her biological father instead of my wife? Because I don't think it's cool for my wife and the baby dad to meet all the time. Uncle Ben.
You want to be there. You want to be present when she's dropping off the kids. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, George. Uncle Ben.
See, okay. So now there's trust issues there, okay? Because if you feel like she can't drop the kid off without you, then there's some mistrust there, and it shouldn't be that way. Where it's unless you feel like she's in danger, or he's volatile, or he was abusive, that's a different situation. Now it's okay, I got to be present because I got to protect my wife. But if it's just a situation where it's I'm just dropping my kid off and I just don't want to, want them to be there without me, then I don't know. That's trust issues. You know what I mean? But it shouldn't be that way if your wife has to drop off the kids without you. What if you can't be there one day? What if you're at an event? What if you're tied up somewhere? What if you're at work and you can't be there? And then it's going to be I can't drop the kid off that day because you can't be there? So I don't know. You got to look at that big picture. You know what I mean? And it shouldn't be where you have to physically be present every time she's dropping off the kids, unless you feel it's within her safety to not do that. You know what I mean?
Well, I kind of understand what he's asking, because a lot of time men, I'm speaking on behalf of men, they will get, not all of them, I'm not going to say all of them, but they will feel like that, okay, since he's not with me anymore, I'm going to mess things up. Or they may get jealous, or the wife is happy, and they get an attitude and try to get on her nerve or say bad things. So I feel, me personally, I feel like that I need to be there and present because this is my wife now, okay? And any conversation that you want to have with her, you got to sit in front of me too, because my wife now is happy. She's at peace, and I don't need her to come home worrying about what you had in the past or aggravating her because we have a happy home. Now, they can talk about whatever, but I'm going to be right there. So I understand what I could be asking, and I think we should just drop the child off and go on by your business, and when it's time to meet again, bring the child back, thank you, and go on back by your business.
It depends on the situation, really, because if it's a situation, like I said, that's a volatile situation, and you know, like anytime your wife is in this person's presence, it just takes her from 1 to 10. You know what I mean? It depends. It's hard to say, but I'm just saying, like, what if you can't be there that one day? What's going to happen? She's not going to drop off the kid? Like, if you can't physically be there one day?
Oh, then we're going to postpone and do another day. That's what we're going to postpone it like it's raining, like it's ice outside, and we're going to do it on another day. Because I love my wife. Now, I'm not like Chris Rock. I think I love my wife. Now, I love my wife. Because I want her to feel good at home. I want her to be happy. I want her to be smiling. And we're doing great. If anybody upset her, it ain't going to be me. Because I'm going to do exactly what I'm supposed to be doing to keep her happy. It's that simple. Yeah. Yes, Lord. Well, one more other question.
You know what?
We just love you, Miss Georgia. One other question, and I think is very important,
I love you guys.
that married couples should have a date night. Could you be a little creative and give some ideas that you'd be more than happy to share what married couple can do on date night?
Okay. So there should always be date night, okay? Marriages don't last unless you continue dating each other, okay? So let's just make that a point to remember. I think that you should plan things without her being involved. You know what I mean? It's like you tell your wife you want to take out, and you tell her, oh, yeah, you call the restaurant, you made the reservation. That's not planning a date. Like, you want her to do all the work, but yet you're calling it a date night. So men need to take more initiative in actually making it happen without the wife being involved or planning. You know what I mean? Take more initiative, take more control over the situation, and do something romantic. Surprise her. You know what I'm saying? Find out the things that she likes. You know, it doesn't always have to be a restaurant or anything. It could be anything. It could be, something that she really loves, or something that, will make her happy, or something that's going to, make her just have great joy. So that's why you need to find those things out about your wife, what her favorite color is. It's so funny. You'll find sometimes people are married to, like, a perfect stranger. You know what I mean? They don't know their wife's favorite color. They don't know their wife's favorite food. They don't know where their wife likes to go most of the time. And it's so funny because, like, I remember I went on vacation with my husband, and we did this couples game, and they would have the women leave, and they would ask the men questions about their wives, and then they would have the men leave and ask them questions about their wives and husbands. So it's important to know those things about your spouse. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people don't even know what their spouse's middle name is. Like, I mean, these are things that you should really know about each other. What is she like? Does she like flowers? Is she allergic to flowers? Does she like this? Does she like that? What kind of food does she like? What's her favorite food? What things that she's allergic to? You know, men have to pay more attention to these things. And I think sometimes men don't. And I don't know if it's because they just have tunnel vision, but they need to pay more attention.
Wow.
They need to pay more attention to when their wife is saying things like, oh, okay, I like this bag, or I like that. You know, do things to surprise her. You know what I mean? You know, don't wait for her to tell you this is what I would like, but try to be creative and do it without her giving you guidance on what to do. So that would definitely be my advice for date night. I think it should definitely be without other people, meaning like sometimes people try to plan date nights with another couple. It shouldn't be that way. It should be about you, and it should be about her. Like, nobody else needs to be there. It's all about you guys having that moment to connect. Listen, we're living in a microwave society. Everybody's fast. Everybody's busy. Like you were saying today, right? You're like, oh, I'm so busy. I was going to all these meetings. I had to do this. I had to do that. And so we are living in a society where we're so inundated with so much. We got our iPhones at our fingertips. People are emailing us. People are calling us. Everyone has access to it. So you have to take that time to regroup and say, you know, this is time for you. And it should just be time for her and time for him, not like other couples. And there's nothing wrong with doing that as well. But date night is really about you and your spouse, no one else.
Right. Well, we're going to have to do a part 2 on the thing that married couples should do right before Valentine's. We're going to invite you back. Yes, we are. I mean, we just can't get enough of you. We're going to invite you back right before Valentine's. But
absolutely. Yeah. I'll have a Valentine treat for your audience. Definitely.
Yes. So before we let you go, tell everyone what you got coming up. The mic is yours. You know what to do. Go right ahead.
Well, I'm super excited because I'm doing my online classes, which are getting a huge response. Super, super excited about. So for all those people out there that's been talking about writing a book, y'all need to take my online class, my online master class. It's called How to Write a Book in 30 Days or Less. I actually taught that class at the Learning Annex. And so I also have a class called Create the Life You Love. I think that now a lot of people are trying to figure out ways on how to turn their passion into profits. So I have these courses available for you. So go to my website, www.georgiawoodbine.com. Follow me on Instagram, Georgia Woodbine. Like me on Facebook. Tweet me on Twitter and share on LinkedIn. I'm sure I have something for everyone, whether it's a relationship or career, getting fit, your health and wellness, changing your mindset, whatever it is, I'm sure there's something for you. And I'm going to be doing a special for the holidays. I don't want to say what it is, but you guys are going to be getting a great gift from me for the holidays. So I want everyone to stay in tune and go to my website and put in your email, because I will be giving out a special gift for Black Friday and for the holidays. Wow,
amazing. Well, thank you, and you keep doing what you're doing. Keep sending me the emails. I get them every time you send them. I open it up, and believe me, I am learning a lot. Yes, I am. Well, you take care. You stay out of trouble, and keep being the Georgia Woodbine that we know that you always be.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. You guys are so much fun. I love being on your show. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, and you take care, okay?
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the lovely author, life coach, motivation speaker, Georgia Woodbine. And we're going to come back with a little surprise for y'all. Don't you guys go away too far, you heard me?
It was a Monday afternoon we first met. It was a day I'm sure I'll never forget. She had a smile that Mona Lisa could not touch. She was looking over my way. I had to introduce myself, didn't want nobody else. She's not something you see every day. Got close and felt a sweet perfume. I didn't have nothing to lose. She was so surprised when I walked up to her and said, hello, hello. Girl, what's your name? I was thinking maybe we could get up and move. Girl, don't say no. If you feel the same, I was thinking maybe we could get up and move. As I stood there hoping she would tell me yes, I was already thinking where I'd take her next, yeah. Making reservations deep inside my head for the night that she would never forget. So when I introduced myself, didn't want nobody else. She's not something you see every day. Got close and smelled a sweet perfume. I didn't have nothing to lose. She was so surprised when I walked up to her and said, hello, hello. Girl, what's your name? I was thinking maybe we could get up and move. Girl, don't say no. If you feel the same, I was thinking maybe we could get up and move. 'Cause you're so amazing to me, girl. I need to have you here in my world. No second best for me, won't do. That's why I just got to be with you. Hello, hello, hello. I was thinking maybe we could get up and move. Girl, don't say no. If you feel the snow, I was thinking maybe we could get up and move. Hello. How about dinner and a movie? Don't say no. Hello. I was thinking maybe we could get up and move.
All right, it's your boy, comedian Edwin-Douglas, and you're on You Heard Me First radio talk show. That's right. We are on iheart-radio, Spotify.com, Spreaker, YouTube, and also Google Podcast, as well as Yahoo. In case you guys have been tuning in for the very first time, let me explain. Do You Hear Me First radio talk show is a 1-hour platform that brings in real people that are going to tell real stories to entertain your spirit and soul with music and also with laughter. Yes, Uncle Ben, I know you enjoyed the lovely Georgia Woodbine. Uncle Ben. I am learning so much. Uncle Ben. Well, you know what time it is. It's time to call the Boudin man. And we was out earlier taking care of business. But in the meantime, let's call him and see what he got cooking on the grill. Let's see what's going on.
Hello there, brother. Brother Douglas. How you doing?
How you doing, Mr. Boudin Man?
Doing wonderful, brother. Can't complain.
All right, you sound so good, man. And well, I know we had a long day today, but I'm so excited. And let's do his intro, cold blooded. Give me that drum roll, Uncle Ben. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we now have my co-host, the one and only, the Boudin Man. Earlier on the show, sir, we were talking about with Georgia Woodbine on what are some of the things that married people should do, especially after the 90 days, like the honeymoon. Could you give us some input, the male version, the Boudin version? How about give us the input that you have on the grill? The thing that married people should do after the first 90 days.
The thing married people should do, first they should get in the Word of the Lord. That's the first thing. And after that, the man should take the woman out to eat. He should, I know a lot of y'all brothers don't know about this, but wash her feet, massage her down, put candles all around the tub, and you know the rest.
Okay. That's very good. What else you got on the cooking on the grill, Boudin Man?
Well, take out the movies. A lot of brothers don't like to go shopping with their wives, but take her to the mall and let her do her shopping, and you sit down and get on your cell phone and watch some games or something.
Okay.
Keep her happy, and she keep you happy.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for those who not familiar with the Boudin Man, we got a lot of things coming up. We also have a surprise. I'm not ready to give it out, the surprise that myself and the Boudin Man will be doing. Uncle Ben, what about me? Like I said, Uncle Ben, I said the things that myself and the Boudin Man going to do. Not you, because you're still on probation. Okay? So
did you get that, Uncle Ben? Did you understand that?
Uncle Ben. Oh, y'all hating. I see what y'all doing. Y'all hating, Uncle Ben. No, ain't nobody hating on you, man. I mean, you know, you're not really on probation, but you need another year you're doing good, but you need one more year, and I think they'll be ready for you, okay? I mean, you're good, but the Boudin Man has more experience according to what we're going to do. Oh, I'm good, Uncle Ben. Now, as I was saying, well, we don't want to give it away right now. It's in the work. It's on the grill. The Boudin Man cooking, doing his thing. Now I'm doing my thing, putting some things together, and you guys are going to love this. And as soon as we finalize things, we will be promoting it. And you will hear from us first, right here on Uheardme1st Radio Talk Show. Now, speaking of that, what you got coming up, Boudin Man?
Well, like I said, we're still trying to get these comedian concerts rolling, and these gospel concerts rolling, and gospel rap concerts rolling, and now we just stepped off into something called a virtual business card. It's going to knock your socks off your feet when you find out about this.
Okay. And also, every other episode, we're going to surprise you guys certain things that Uncle Ben and the Boudin Man will be doing. Last time we did what we call more of a debate. Next time we're going to do little mama jokes between Uncle Ben and the Boudin Man. Uncle Ben, I think I'll win that there. your mama joke. I told her, well, just hold on. Don't get all excited. You know, we got to get approval from the Boudin man if he down with it. If he ain't, then you know me and you would do it. Uncle Ben.
Boudin man down like 4 flat tires on a Cadillac.
Uncle Ben, well, you just come on, you just be ready when comedian Edwin-Douglas give us the green light. You just be ready, because I think I can beat you on your mama joke. Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben,
my name Freddie. I stay ready.
I'm going to change your name. I'm going to change your name from Boudin Man to Hot Dog Man. That's what's going to happen. Uncle Ben.
All right. We're going to see all about that, Uncle Ben. We talking loud and ain't saying that.
You throw that James Brown on you.
I got to put it on, Uncle Ben. Hard man.
Well, what we got on the news, the Dallas Cowboys been out for a week, and hopefully they'll bounce back and win 2 in a row. What is your opinion on the Dallas Cowboys, Boudin, man?
Well, hey, they just got that new player in from New England. I think they're going to do like Quentin Latifah and them say. They're going to set it off.
Okay.
They're going to run the table for a while.
Okay. Well, a lot of things are happening. Thanksgiving is coming up. Of course, your boy going to release his new comedy project. That's right, Behind My Own Mic, kicking off December 7th, and I'm going to roll it off into 2020. But hopefully, when this does take place, I'm going to keep you guys posted, man, and try to get as many bookings for this new project that's coming up December 7th. Yes, that's what I will do, So, well, we run out of time. Until next time, I'm your boy, comedian Edwin-Douglas. Right along. Uncle Ben, hold up. You didn't ask me what I got coming up, Uncle Ben. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I apologize. What you got coming up? Uncle Ben. Nothing. See, that's what I thought. Well, until next time. Until next time, your host, comedian Edwin-Douglas, right along with my co-host, the one and only, the Boudin Man, of course, our DJ sidekick. And don't forget to tune in for a new episode every Sunday, right here at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on iHeart-Radio, Spotify.com, Spreaker, as well as YouTube, also Google Podcasts, and Yahoo. And we will always be on demand. Until next time, peace, and may God bless you. You heard me? All right, this has been another great episode on You Heard Me First Radio Talk Show. Until next time, your host, comedian Edwin-douglas, and don't you guys stay away from us too far. You heard me? Peace, and may God bless you.
No longer being recorded.